Hi again, and welcome to Heresy Audio. This video is a response or a follow-up to a previous video that I made about the Klipsch Heresy, and where I said they were incomplete speakers and piece of crap, and that has not changed. So I got a lot of response, both supportive response and of course the bandwagon lovers who absolutely adore these incomplete, shitty, crappy speakers. And they come with a lot of comments that I find very, very funny. Apparently people who likes them like to listen to their music halfway. And some of the comments that I got was just hilarious. You know, you didn't test them in a complete good enough listening environment, anechoic chambers, you didn't have this, you didn't do that, you probably used the wrong amps and all that stuff. You know, so many excuses. Well, here's just to clarify a few things. When I did the tests, I did them in normal listening environment that most people would use them in their home. Living room, audio room, and in a third kind of room which is not kind of set up for listening. But most people listen to their speakers in a living room or an audio room that they have made for that specific task. Well, it didn't matter where I put them, it didn't matter what room I tested them in, I still didn't like what I heard. Yes, they have an okay and a good mid-range. The tweeter is okay. So the upper part of the Heresys are not bad. It's when I say incomplete and pure crap, it's because there is so much you're missing in the bottom. So let's just clarify one thing right off the bat. When I tested these speakers, I used 3 different amps, or 2 different amps and a receiver. I used my Yamaha CR 640 receiver. That was the first one that I hooked up and tested. And flat. It was very flat. And okay, if you like flat sound without any bass or any interaction from the woofer further down than 50 hertz, by all means, listen to it. When I listen to my music, I like to listen to my music the way it was recorded. Not have some of the information removed or not being able to be played. So the second amp that I used was an Marantz 140. Not much difference. Same thing. And the third amp that I used was in fact a PA amp, a Carver Pro PA amp, PX450. So there was no lack of power in any of them. If you look at what they're rated at, there's no lack of power. When it comes to, oh, you didn't have the right chamber to test them in, and when they test them in the factory, you know, forget about it. We're not talking about testing them in a factory setting or a laboratory setting. We're talking about testing them in a home setting where most people listen to their equipment, speakers, amps, whatever they use it in their home. So stop coming with the comments about, oh, you didn't use the laboratory thing, you didn't have a written printout, or use this and that. You know what? Most people who listen to these speakers don't put up a microphone, don't put up a lot of technical gear and measure it. They sit down in a freaking chair and they listen to their speakers, and they base what they hear but with their ears, okay? So when people sit down and listen to speakers or music through their speakers, they don't use microphones and technical equipment and lab equipment and measure it and have it printed out and then go, oh, this sounds really freaking good. No, they don't. So if you're that stupid and you start to make comments like that, That just goes to show that you're nothing but a technical snob, okay? You want everything and everyone to listen to what you say, and it has to be correct on the paper. Listening to music is not looking at a piece of paper and what is being read out, what's a microphone or a computer analyzes the signal to be, okay? You listen to the music with your ears, and the speakers reproduce the music that you play, and what you hear with your own ears it's what people goes by, okay? So stop all this bullshit and nonsense about putting up a microphone, putting up a computer to analyze all this shit, and do a printout reading to see the frequency range. That's not what it's about. It's about people putting speakers in their homes and listening to it with their ears. Okay? Your perception of sound may be different from mine. And I understand that and I respect that. But in my mind, when I compared those Heresy speakers to other speakers, because this was also a part, what did you test it against? Well, my Energy Connoisseurs 6 smoked the Heresys easy. Easy. My Altex smoked the Heresys easy. The Advents sound better than the Heresys easy. Most of the speakers that I tested them against smoked them. Yes, they were equal in mid and high frequency, but to me, sound is more than just mids and highs. You see, most type of music go lower in frequency than 50, 45 hertz. Because this was a comment that, well, 50 hertz was the specification on the sheet, but it's like 3 to 4 dB plus minus. Okay, if we include a roll-off and everything, maybe they hit 45 hertz if you're lucky. But I doubt it. But then again, I didn't use a microphone on a computer, did I? No. But there is a reason why the manufacturer says frequency range, physical mechanical frequency range. Look into that. Mechanical frequency range that speaker is made to do. So with the roll-off, let's give it let's say, okay, I can hit maybe 45, 46 hertz. Still, from that point and down to 20, there's still a lot of information that is being lost. And this is stupid because a lot of people said, well, there's not much information below 50 hertz in today's music. Are you freaking kidding me? What planet do you live on? Most music that is recorded goes down into the mid-20s. Most music. Some music goes even lower. A lot of the classical music that is recorded has registered tones and music and whatever you call it down to 16 hertz. A lot of hard rock and heavy metal goes down to 24, 23, 22 hertz. Hip hop and rap goes way down. So people who listen to that type of music wouldn't benefit one single thing from owning a Heresy. It will sound like shit. Try and play. And this is also one of the comments that was given or been done. And some of these comments are so unprofessional and so just stupid. I had to delete them because they're just too stupid. It's like, well, you tested it with the wrong songs and the wrong music. I'm not testing the equipment with music I don't like or music I don't listen to. Yes, I did some music that I don't listen to just to get a reference to what I listen to. But of course, when I test equipment, I'm going to test it with the music that I listen to most of the time, which is hard rock, heavy metal, rock. I listen to blues, yes. And sometimes if I'm in the mood, I put on a country music CD or vinyl or whatever. Did I do some classical music? Yes. Just to get a reference point to the other music genres. But to say that I use the wrong songs, it goes back to being an audiophile snob. So you want me to test jazz music, female singers that has limited information in the lower frequency range. I'm sorry, but that's not how it works, because for once, I don't listen to my equipment. I listen to my music. And I listen to my music the way it was recorded and intended to be played. I don't listen to the equipment. I don't use music to listen to the speaker. I use the speaker to listen to music, okay? There's a big difference there. So, a lot of you guys, a lot of you guys were like, okay, I have had Heresy, I have tested it, and I agree with you. Okay, so there is a certain amount of percentages of people out there who agrees with me. And then you have people who don't agree with me and who sent me messages and said, okay, I understand that you listen to this type of music and maybe Heresy is not the best alternative for that type of music. They were understanding and they were professional about it. But then you have these stupid people who are bandwagon fans and who doesn't know better, it's just sad. And those are the ones who come with these stupid comments like, you used the wrong room, you used the wrong music. No. If that's how you view testing things, then I feel sorry for your soul, because you're lost. You're lost in this audio world. If you use music to listen to your equipment and you have a microphone set up and you get a printed out graph of what the speaker is doing and you go like, oh yeah, this is freaking good, you lost. You are so lost. But if you put on a CD, a vinyl, an 8-track, reel-to-reel tape, or whatever you use, and you sit down in your chair with something to drink and listen to the music that is being played and you enjoy the music, then you're on the right track. So if you want me to take your comments seriously and answer you, at least give a comment that can be answered. Don't come with this stupid bullshit that you in a blind test would pick the Heresy as the winner over any other speaker. I had one guy who said, no matter what speaker on the market, okay? Let's think about that for a while. That means Forsman, Dolly, Sonus Faber, whatever you want to call it, Focal, Wilson Audio, and all these, even these $1 million speakers. Because you, blindfolded, you could pick out the Heresy as the winner among all speakers on the market regardless, because that's what you said. You see how stupid your comment is? There's even other Klipsch speakers that sounds better than Heresy, okay? Corner horns, way better than Heresy. The Cornwalls, way better than Heresy. So, if you're at least going to give me a freaking run for my money and give me some hard time and be kind of against what I'm saying now, because I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but at least come with some comments that I can take seriously. If you have a comment that and you don't agree with me, totally fine. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. Everyone disagrees when it comes to audio because we hear music differently. We play different musics. We have our different favorites, For some reason, people like Altex. For some reason, people like JBL. And some other people might hate Altec and JBL. And you have a disagreement. It's the same thing with Klipsch. It's the same thing with cerwin-vega. It's the same thing with Advent. All brands have fans and all brands have haters. So, you know, I don't care if you hate or love Klipsch Heresy's. I told my story the way I listened to them and the way I heard them, and that's it. At least give me a comment that I'm not laughing my ass off when I'm reading it because it's so freaking stupid. But this goes to show that there is a group of people on in the audio world that are taking things way too seriously. And they live in this technical little bubble that everything has to be done and measured on paper. You know, you can't use your own ear. And these are the same people who probably believes that a $35,000 or a $50,000 cable system is going to make your sound system sound so much better. You know? And these are the people who also, I call them trolls. They like to troll the groups online. And you know what? No one takes you seriously. And they will probably say, oh, I don't take Rossi audio seriously because what he says is so stupid and so blah, blah, blah. So be it. I don't care. If you take me seriously or not, if you agree with me or not, see if I care. I give you my opinion, and you know what? If you want to listen to it or not, doesn't really bother me. If you think you can hurt my feelings by giving me a bad comment, you're mistaken, dude. Maybe, have you ever thought about this? Just for a second, sit down and think about it. Have you ever thought about that maybe my reviews and the way I word my things, maybe I do it on purpose to create the response that you're giving me? Have you ever thought about that? Maybe I'm playing you for a fool right now. Maybe I'm playing, you know, who knows? The only thing I can say is that Heresy is an incomplete speaker compared to a lot of others. And then I add on and I say, oh, it's a crappy speakers. Why do I do that? Maybe I do it to create a little spark of getting people involved. What if I want to get you involved? Good or bad, negative or positive? Maybe my honest opinion is Heresy is an incomplete speaker when it comes to sound. But they are okay. I had them for over a year. I used them. You know? So maybe they are okay. But they're still not perfect. They're still, according to what I want to listen to. So to create some spark and to create some initiative from the readers or the listeners or the watchers, maybe I just take a little bit of a grain of chili and put in there just to spark it up a little bit. Have you ever thought about that? But no, let's take everything he says literally. Everything he says is like it's what he says. Okay, I'm not lying because I think they're incomplete compared to other speakers that I have had and tested them up against. I think they're incomplete. I don't think they're the best you can get. And when I add crap in my heading, why do you think I do that? It's a stretch of what I mean. They are crap compared to others. If they were the only speaker in the world, would I call them crap? Probably not, because I wouldn't have a reference to reference them up against. I would probably say, oh, they're great speakers. Or if we compare the Heresys to, let's say, some 80s all-in-one, you know, the stereo rack speakers that came with a stereo rack. And let's say we take some Kenwoods or some Sonys or some Pioneers and we test the Heresys up against them. I would probably say that, oh, shit, the Heresys are way better than the Kenwoods, way better than the Pioneers, way better than the JVCs. So you see, it depends on what you are testing them against and what you're comparing them against. So when I say crap, it's because when I've tested them against other speakers that most people would compare them with, you would never take Heresy and compare them to some $20 plastic box speakers that you get from these all-in-one systems that cost $179 at Walmart. Because then the Heresy would be freaking awesome compared to those. But when you start comparing them to other speakers that are on the same level, or should be on the same level, or maybe a little higher level, they lack a lot of sound. So you see, your comments, you're basing your comments on totally nonsense. You're basing it on something you're cooking up in your mind without thinking. Am I saying that that's wrong? Maybe, maybe not. But it sure looks that way, you know? So when I say they're incomplete, they sound crap, okay, that's against a certain selection of other speakers. If we had tried them against someone else, they might have been the winner. And I might have said, wow, Heresy's, they are the best, you know? But I can't do that. Because when Heresy and their followers and their fans have put them on a certain level, well, then I have to test them against the same level of speakers or higher. I can't test them against something that is lower. Because that wouldn't be right, would it? We agree on that? Okay. And when I test it, of course I'm going to test it in an environment that is normal for most people to test it in, not some laboratory. Can we agree on that? That most tests done, if you want to do it the right way, you do it in a setting that you normally would listen to your speakers in. Okay? So you know what? Just cut the crap. Because, yes, I put a crap in the heading. Do I think they're total crap? Do I think they should go to the landfill? No. They have good positive sides. They have a good mid. They have a good tweeter. They have a good upper, mid and upper frequency range. They have a good response. They have a good reproduction of that sound. But they're lacking something somewhere. And that, for that reason, I cannot call them a good speaker. They are partially good in certain areas, like my Advents or other Advents. They have pluses and minuses too. I can say that the Advents, the large or original ones from Henry Claus, I can test them against other speakers and say, they're crap too. Because you see, if you test them up against something that is way better, then they become less good. But they are still a good speaker. Isolated set. But they are not as good as the Altex. So compared to the Altex, the Advents are crap. You can take the Altex and test them up against other speakers that are better. That will make them go crap. So you see, it's a play of word, it's a play of settings. But you didn't understand that. And that just goes to show that you're not open-minded and you're not thinking clearly. Which means your mind is clouded. Your mind is biased towards one speaker. I'm not biased towards one speaker. I can easily say that, okay, I collect a certain brand. Not because of the sound. They are not the best sounding speakers in the world by far. Yeah, I collect cerwin-vegas. Do I think cerwin-vegas are the best speakers in the world? Hell no! They give me a lot of fun for the music I play, but they're far from being the best. If you compare cerwin-vegas to other speakers that are way better, I would say, oh my god, it sounds like crap. So you see, it's not a word that I attach to one specific speaker. Even my favorite brand, if I heard my favorite brand, let's say we took the AT100 from cerwin-vega. I'm not saying those are any high-end audio at all. They play hi-fi, mid-fi, hi-fi, entry-level hi-fi. Okay, that's what they do. But then you have models that are older from cerwin-vega that is hi-fi and will compete against the higher end brands. But they're hard to find and you can't get a hold of them that easy. So if I tested my ATs up against, let's say, some Klipsch, La Scala, corner horn, bell, of course the corner horn from Klipsch and the La Scalas and the bell would smoke cerwin-vega on sound quality. Okay, cerwin-vega would probably have better bass, better low frequency, but when it comes to mid-range and higher frequencies, cerwin-vegas would be smoked. They're still my favorite brand to collect. If I did that test, I would say, freaking shit, they sound like crap compared to the corner horns and the La Scalas and the bells. So you see, you react to this movie or the video that I made just the way I wanted you to react. And it showed who agrees and can respond properly to that in that way. It showed me who disagree with me and still responds with respect and a different opinion, and they articulate it in a nice way. And then you have the idiots who responds hot-headed, keyboard cowboys, trolls. So you see, I got all the response I wanted. I got exactly what I wanted. Thank you. You made the video popular.